everybody. It's me again, your host, Tanya, for Bleep It or Not. Today's episode is a little different. It's just me sharing something I've never really opened up in this way before. So many of you have asked me about my weight loss journey, so here I am with all these comments like this. This is about how I went from triple XL back to a size I've never thought I'd ever see again. It's also something deeper, my journey with self-love. First of all, before we start, set the record straight here, okay? I am not a medical professional. I am not going to give you medical advice. This is just me simply sharing my experience and my story. If at the end of this video, you will be encouraged to do the same or try something, please seek your doctor's advice or your GP's advice, okay? I'm not a doctor. I am just me, Tanya. Just your friendly neighbor cutie. Anyway, okay, so please take care when you're listening or watching this. Always seek your doctor's advice before you do something with your body, okay? From my teenage years hating my body to the challenges of adulthood, motherhood, and the spiritual awakening that came alongside this transformation. So I want to take you through it all, the highs and the lows, the laughter, the tears, insecurities, which are too many, and the moments I finally took my power back. This is not just about the weight I lost. It's about the love I have gained for myself. So if you've ever looked in the mirror and felt that you're not enough, girl, I felt that too. So you're not alone. If you've ever struggled with your body, me too. Or your identity, fucking me too. Or your worth, I want you to know, I got you. Hold my hand. Let's walk through this journey together. This is the very first time we are doing a no guest episode because, as we all know, Bleep It or Not is about storytelling. I've got story to tell too. Although with all of my previous episodes, all I do is talk about my stories as well when I am able to relate to my guests. But this time, you are going to relate to me, hopefully. But I'm sure you will. I can't imagine how many questions I receive every single day about how much I lost weight or what did I do? Girl, anong ginagawa mo? What did you do? Ako po ay nag-a-addict. No, joke lang. Uy, huwag kayo mag-addict ha, masama yun. Okay, so if you think this episode or this particular topic is going to inspire you to exercise, no girl, maybe scroll away. I don't know if this would be inspiring enough for you to lift weights, do crunches. It's not that. If you think this is something that will be resonating to your experience, please stay. I would like you to get to know me. So, who was I when I was younger? So when I was younger, I didn't like myself. And with these photos I'm showing you right now, I absolutely hated myself. Things I hated about me is my skin color, okay? My nose, it's too big, they say. Also my arms, they're massive, you know, it's not too girly. Your legs are too short. Oh my God, you're fat all the time. When I look back to those pictures, I actually tell myself I wasn't that big. At the time when I was younger, living in the Philippines, that weight is big, okay? So it's not too feminine. It's just too athletic, too boyish, you know? And even my hair was cut short. Thanks, Mom. So yeah, I wasn't really a fan of myself. I also didn't grow up having people validate me as a young girl. Let's start with a quote. Every single time we go to a section, okay? You want to fly? You got to give up the shit that weighs you down. And that beautiful quote is by Toni Morrison, A Song of Solomon. You got to give up the shit that weighs you down. Maybe you're not big. maybe the trauma's too big for you to carry and it feels so heavy. And you just eat your sadness away and you just gain it all. Because that's what exactly happened to me. In an Asian country and a third world country, our beauty standards are like Victoria's Secret, okay? How would I reach that? It's impossible because, first of all, I'm not white. And second, I am not 6 foot tall. I am not stick thin. I've got curly hair. I've got, button nose, big teeth. Oh my God. I can't count the things I hated about my body at that time. So really my relationship with my body at the time is completely on the rocks. Hindi kami good relationships. So kumbaga toxic. Yes, ganyan. Red flag. Kumbaga ako yung toxic sa relationship na yon. And then my body at that time was just trying so hard. Trying so hard to keep me alive. But I am the toxic partner that says, you're not enough. No, that's not enough. And I've mentioned already before the features I hated about myself, which put so much weight on the hatred or self-loathing. Not to mention the cultural expectations. Being in an Asian country, it's so prevalent to receive comments from people saying, oh, tumataba ka. Oh, ang lakas mo ata magkanin. So it's always like that. I had that mindset before. Pag mataba ako, I am absolutely horrific. Yep, that is really bad, isn't it? And, like the food comments is just so common as well. Na pa-exercise ka lang and someone would comment like, oh, napapalakas ang kain. Oh, hina-hina. Gutom na gutom. Mga ganon. So it wasn't really a healthy environment to grow up with as a young person. So that's not really a good start to begin with. And I think that just escalated as soon as I aged. Now we're going to the adulthood, okay? So where I step out of being a teenager, this is where the life really hits you, because you thought that childish comments or tukso or bullying about your skin color, your weight, and all that would stop. No, because there comes love, relationships, status. What happens is when you are introduced to love, you start to be conscious of how you look. Before we move on to the adulthood questions or topic, let's start again with a quote from Naomi Wolf. A cultural fixation on female thinness is not an obsession about female beauty, but an obsession about female obedience. Sit with that for a minute. Sit with that. Now, I think it's because it comes with age. My metabolism works really fast. So whatever I eat that day, I lose that immediately within the day. So I do not actually gain weight no matter how much I eat when I was younger. But different story when I hit 21. I started noticing that I feel so bloated immediately after I eat, even if I don't overeat. It's the lack of education around food, okay, or about nutrition. Kasi in the Philippines, you eat gulay, you're healthy. But no one talks about that because sobrang sarap ng pakbet, which is full of gulay. You eat it with rice. No one really tells you. You balance everything out. I just know that gulay is healthy. That's the only thing. And then if you want to lose weight, eat gulay. Yun lang. That's the only education I know when I was a kid. So when I hit 21, that's, as I mentioned earlier, I started noticing that I just feel like a lot heavier. Although it doesn't show the change in the size of the clothes I wear, but I just feel like heavier, like bloated, yeah. And it started to hit me. Okay, maybe my metabolism is starting to like, girl, hinay, kind of like open to a lot of possibility that maybe I need to change my diet. Yan na-introduce na sa akin ang diet. I didn't know the terminology before until I had to, because as time goes by, I started to notice that my jeans or my tops were starting to feel really, really tight. So I felt like, ano ba yan? Bakit siguro lumiit sa labas? Sisihin mo yung labandera, ganun. Sisihin mo yung laundry nyo, yung washing machine. So sinisisi ko siya una, pero hindi na siya, undeniable na siya. It's becoming evident that I am starting to gain weight because of how much I eat. So, na-introduce na sa akin yung diet. So this is the time I started to reduce my rice, avoid sweets, avoid junk food, blah, blah, blah. And I forgot to mention as well, I had asthma when I was younger. Grabe ang hit-hit natin inhaler. So, merong steroid yon. So, di ba nakakataba siya? So sometimes I even had to be hospitalized, and that requires how do you call this? Steroid. So steroid would actually make you gain weight. So I wasn't also told that, only after, I think when I was a bit older. And also it runs in our family to be diabetic. So my dad had diabetes. We were always reminded by our mother that hinahinay, nako kita mo, papa mo may diabetes, mag-ingat ka, ang dami mo magkanin, grabe ka mag-coke, ganyan. And also in our household, we are Coke drinkers. We don't drink water. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, midnight snack, Coke kami. So when my dad fell ill with diabetes, he had to stop drinking Coke. Lahat kami siguro nanginginig para kami we want Coke because we love Coke. So ayan yung mga factors. I think in the mid-20s, yun na, medyo from extra small ako before, naging small to medium, borderline medium. Feeling ko ang taba ko na. Ayan na, sobra na yung self-loathing ko. Sobra siya. I can't find the right words because my mental health starting to also dip. I had OCD. I was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorders. Pa-spiral na ako, pababa na ng pababa. So that's what happened to me. When it comes to relationships and love, nahirapan din ako kasi all I did was to please people, please men, and I only dress up for attention, for a compliment from people. Because like I said, I grew up in an environment where I was not validated, so I had to seek it outside. I never learned how to validate myself, to find my own worth within. No. I learned to get that from outside, from other people. So I only dress up nice, kahit masikip, kahit uncomfortable, I will wear them because cute diba? So kahit sugat-sugat ka na, may paltos ka na, ganyan, tapos hindi pa kasya yung pantalon, gilang, go, kasi cute daw. So yung mga comments that I receive from people when they say, oh, ang payat mo dyan, I embraced it. So ko siya, kinodol ko yung feeling of validated from people, which I became obsessed with it. Really, really obsessed. By God, I'm really talking about raw emotions here that I've never admitted before. I became so obsessed of people's validation that I do things only to be validated by them. Ang sakit aminin. So yes, so may favorite ako na hindi ko siya favorite kasi it's my favorite color. No, favorite ko siya kasi I usually get compliments with it. Favorite ko yung top kasi mukha akong payat dyan. Alam mo yon, so it's never about what I like. It's about what others like. So I have allowed people to create an idea of me, and I lived in that idea. I had that mindset na kapag you're fat, you're ugly. Yes, I had that mindset. I felt like it's bawas. Nakakabawas ng pagkababae. How shit is that, right? So it really poisoned my idea of body weight. That's what the society has dictated to us, to me. And that formed in my head until I was older. And now, sobrang natuwa ako when someone wants to marry me, 'di ba? Kasi I've been to a lot of toxic relationship kasi tinanggap ko yung less things I deserve because I think no one would ever find me attractive anymore. Because every single time I get into a relationship, I fucking gain weight. Because I fucking ate my sadness. When they don't validate me, when they don't compliment me anymore, I would just start eating. And it's a short-term happiness I anchored myself into so I won't spiral further down. But it was wrong because I just woke up. I was big enough. At that time, I was already large when I hit 28. I think at that time, when someone wants to marry me, which is my husband now, I was still large. But at that time, I tried so hard to lose weight so I can fit in my wedding gown. And I remember my wedding gown was fitted to me, and on the wedding day itself, pinupuwersa na nila yung puputok na yung damit. Sige, puwersa mo yan. Suck it in! And then I remember na pag may picture, nasa likod ako or tatagilid ako. So I have learned to dress up my heavy body. So alam ko na siyang i-fashion. Hindi ako masyadong halata na nag-gain ng weight. But rapidly inside, I was really hopeless. I learned how to hide in photos or find my best side to show the jawline. Before kasi wala yan eh. Tapos I also learned the tricks on how you won't have a double chin. Kaya close mo yung mouth mo pero yung tongue mo nasa taas para ma-prominent yung jawline mo kasi double chin ako before. Inalam ko lahat ng sikreto para magmukha akong payat kasi hindi ko ma-resolvehan na hindi siya overnight fix. Walang overnight fix kapag nag-gain ka ng weight. Ako kakain ngayon pero kakain ako marami bukas. So, I tend to overeat if I don't eat, let's say, a day before, which was the awful part. Because I thought I was losing weight but really, my brain was just tricking me. No, sige, hindi ka kumain today. Bukas, kain ka kaunti, dagdag mo ng isang subo pa or 3 subo, di mo alam, gain ka na ng gain na ng gain na ng gain. So, yon, kailangan ko alamin ang mga tricks. So, even makeup, I had to start using contouring, yan na, para pak, diba? Tapos, iti-tilt ko yung head ko sa mga shots para hindi ako mag-double chin. Tapos, yung arm ko, kasi nga malaki siya, diba? So, ilalagay ko siya isisilid ko siya na sa likod ng ganyan kaunti para magmukhang payat. Tapos kunyari ganyan. Kasi pag humarap na ako sa camera, yan na, kita mo na yung ilong, kita mo na yung mga, yung pisngi ko, malaki na, tapos malaki pa ng tenga ko, diba? Ganon. So, ang dami kong natutunan to make myself look thin. I even came to a point of like editing my photos. Ko, diba? Grabe, pagka-desperada talaga para maging maganda, para lang makakuha ng compliment from people. It's an awful way of looking things at the time because I was so hungry of love, of feeling accepted. Love me because I am kind even if I'm a big girl. Love me because I'm kind. So even if it offends me, I don't say anything. When you've met me in those past years, before now, you might have thought like, but she was so confident. Girl, I faked it till I made it. Yeah. So I'm really, really good at masking. So when I'm with you and I laughed and I feel confident with my clothes, when I come home, I hated myself. So, I look at myself in the mirror, it's like, pilingera. Really say awful stuff, And I hope if you are that person now, let me hug you. Because I was that awful to myself. I look at myself every single time I see myself in any reflection, in any mirrors, I would literally say, my God, pilingera, kala mo maganda. Bata-bata ba mo naman, laki ng tiyan mo, laki pa ng dede mo. Alam mo yung mga ganun comment ko sa sarili ko, grabe, laki ng ilong, pilingera, matalino ka, ganyan. Wala magmamahal sa'yo, guy. Yeah, kaya kayo niiwan eh. Kasi ang pangit mo. Diba? Ang itim mo pa, ang kulot mo pa. Grabe, ganyan ang mga conversation ko sa sarili ko before. I was so mean and ruthless to myself. When I got married, I moved here in the UK when I have to be registered for their health system. In the Philippines, I was technically obese, I think, because of the Asian size. But when here, hindi pa. O, diba? Syempre, umangat na naman ang ating confidence. So it's a completely different food here. Walang kanin, pero puro tinapay. Hindi naman ako talaga fan ng tinapay eh. But, syempre, nag-lean na ako sa pasta, yan na, sa all carbs. Kasi nga, I was born and bred in a country of carbs. So that's one of the things I looked for here in the UK. So same, same diet, same old bad habits. I think 5 years onto our marriage, we decided that, okay, let's have babies. So we had to try for a year and a half. And we kept failing. Nade-depress na naman ako. Ang hirap maging babae. Alam mo yon, parang lagi mong sisisihin ang sarili mo. If something happens to your body, yes, kasalanan mo, girl. Kasi baka baog ka. Lagi mong sinisisi ang sarili mo. I don't know if all girls does it, but because of my trauma, thanks, it's my trauma. Kailangan na natin ng tulong. So we had to go through IVF treatment. We had to both get tested. So, sinong may problema, ako ba or my husband. But in the initial test, we were already told we are obese. Alam mo, maganda dito sa UK, nung dumating ako, hindi daw ako obese, diba? Siyempre, after years gone by, every time I go to the hospital, let's say masakit likod ko or makati yung batok, they always weigh you, okay? And the first thing they say, girl, you're obese. It's always like that. So, maiinis ka talagang magpunta sa doktor. Apart from all the waiting, to get your appointment scheduled, it's just the comment from the doctors that say, oh, you've got a back pain, your legs hurt because you're overweight. Always like that. So I have just given up with that system. I'm done. I'm done hearing them say I am fat. Although here in the UK, the difference is people do not just, willy-nilly comment on your body. No, they won't comment also on how you eat. No, they don't. That doesn't stop me to hate me, to judge me. So the problem was, I was a part of the problem. Am I the drama? I caused the drama to myself. I did it all. When people commented in the Philippines that I am this, I put weight on that. Tama yung sinabi ni ganyan. Pangit ka nga. Diba? Sana pinagtanggol mo yung sarili mo. No, I didn't fight for myself. I have also believed the comments of other people, and I have validated that by telling that to myself more and more and more. So we took IVF, we went through it. I'm jumping through hoops here of my IVF treatment because we can literally just talk about that on a different episode, okay? To make this story short, I was told that we cannot proceed with the treatment. We stopped and accepted that we are not going to be able to have our own child because we were also told that it's going to be difficult for you to do it naturally. It took us a while for my husband and myself to admit that, okay, maybe it's just the two of us. Let's just adopt. So we kind of resolved to adopting. But we thought first, okay, before we do that, let's work on ourselves. Ayan na. Girl, bring the sexy back. I learned about the intermittent diet and keto diet. Yes. So the keto diet is leaning into fat food. Okay. Healthy fat food. But I didn't do the healthy part. Okay. We got into that regime. We also registered ourselves to the gym. So it started every weekend, twice a week. And then it became thrice. And it became every fucking single day. We became obsessed. We don't have kids. We have plenty of time to, go to the gym, swim, run. So I became obsessed with running as well. And then I started learning how to cook keto food. I didn't do the healthy part of keto, like avocado. No, I did bacon, all the fats like sinigang, pero walang kanin. So we removed our carbs. And truthfully, we've lost weight. We have also inspired a lot of people with that journey that I had to create a group page on Facebook, which I'm not able to maintain. I was not able to maintain because, again, that wasn't really a sustainable journey because I reverted back to gaining weight. Okay. Before we gained weight though, with that journey of intermittent and keto, we felt pregnant. Sabi ng aking uterus, let's prove the science wrong. Girl, tell them you're magical and you're going to be a mother. My husband and I had children naturally without the science help. Thank you very much. My body is magic. When I had my first baby, I thought everything will be okay because I was still a bit thinner. So from becoming to XL, I went to medium and then borderline small. So ganun kinapayat namin in the span of 6 months, I think, sa intermittent and keto. And I got pregnant. And then because my body got used to exercising every single day, I remember up until I was 6 months, I was still running on a treadmill. People from work, because I would do it lunchtime in the office, and we've got indoor gym, people from work would kind of like peek on the glass and say, is she pregnant? Why is she still running? And then I come out and people would ask me that question. I'm like, oh yeah, because my body is used to it. So I need to give it. So like my body wants it. So at the time, the baby wasn't too heavy for me. The story changed when I hit 7 months to 8 months because my blood pressure was really high. According to the doctors, it's not my fault. It's a normal thing to happen to all pregnant women because of the changes that your body is going through. So at the latter stage part of my pregnancy, my husband and I stopped going to the gym. We also had to be in the hospital every week for them to check my baby's movement, to check my blood pressure. My mental health at the time wasn't really still good, despite of all the dieting, the losing weight. It didn't fix it because the pregnancy took its toll. Like I felt like, is this real? Will I be able to deliver this baby full term? Will I be a good mother? So new fears are coming in. Alam mo yun, all the past fears I had, like, will I be a beautiful woman? Will I be a pretty wife? Bagong fear. I remember still, I was speaking to a therapist because of my OCD went really berserk when I started getting pregnant. I remember cleaning everything so many times because I feel like I'm going to be sick or the baby will die. Those are my fears. I know it's the pregnancy hormones, but of course it doesn't help if you have OCD. So ganun yung OCD ko. I clean everything. Super anal ako sa dumi, sa germs. We both came out. And then pandemic happened, which was a blessing for me because it kept us away from people. So it was very good for my mental health. So it means I don't think that people will bring germs or kill my baby or kill me, blah, blah, blah. But then again, because it secluded us from people, from visitors, from the help that we need, we struggled a lot. So we enjoyed the time, my husband and I and my child at the time, we enjoyed our alone time, like no pressure from people, but we also kind of felt lonely. That literally our village was ourselves. So we were also in the midst of moving into our very first home in the UK. So it was very, very stressful. So because we've got a new home, new fridge, new kitchen, luto na luto si Inday. Kain here, kain there, luto ng Filipino food because the cravings are here and there all the time. And I was also breastfeeding full time, and I was also working after 6 months, I think 4 months. I went back to work, but working from home full time, but 9 till 5 with a baby in my arms. So yes, during break time, kain here, kain there, eating my sadness away, staying up late because the baby won't sleep, blah, blah, blah. And because when you're breastfeeding, you're always hungry and sometimes you're eating too much. So from large at the time, my weight kicked up to XL. And then 2 years after, there you are, pregnant again with my second child. So my body didn't have a chance to actually lose weight. It only had a chance to heal from the cesarean. But I didn't really lose weight to prepare my body for carrying another child. But I think my second pregnancy was a lot more easier because I found my rhythm, and also I was less scared because I already had an experience with my first child. So I'm able to eat whatever I like, not instead of thinking, oh, the baby will be dying with this food if I eat this, like sushi and all that. I would still eat them. Fuck that. So I stopped seeing a therapist after I gave birth, also because of the pandemic. It allowed me to recuperate mentally. My second child was literally like a star that guided me through my deepest core of myself. I was introduced to spirituality. So I was introduced to inner work, shadow work. So for those who are not familiar with that, it's working your wounds, healing your wounds. So I was introduced to that. Oh my God, it's just fucking life changing. After giving birth to the second one, I was already massive. I was triple XL at the time. Again, I still know how to dress up myself. People still get surprised how they think I wasn't too fat. It's because of how I dress up. Apart from dressing up nicely, knowing my perfect side, I also wear branded stuff to cover up the ugly parts of me or the hatred I have for myself. But because of the spirituality, I was starting to be introduced to working on internally. Or you think this is going to be a walk in the park? No, I think it just opened a can of worms. But I think it introduced me to finding out what truly makes me happy, and accepting who I am, you know. And while I was working on my spiritual side of things and my inner wounds, my childhood wounds, I'm able to also discover my power to find my worth without seeking validation. So it was a slow healing. And sometimes it feels like I'm going back to zero if I'm getting triggered, you know. So there was a lot of inner work I have done before starting to discover the medication that helped us lose weight. When I started the introduction earlier, I said that this is not an inspirational one like you would see that I would tell you that we went to the gym, that we ate healthy. It's not going to be like that. We lost weight because we took a specific medication called Monjaro. Let's give the hero a name. I'm calling it a hero in this particular section of our episode, but you will know who is really the hero later. So Monjaro was quite new, was recently approved at the time. It was around 2024 when it was introduced and allowed in the UK. And I happened chanced a video of someone taking it and discussing it. So that struck an interest for me. So I started searching about it. So it also led me to Ozempic and finding out who are the celebrities. And at that time, my God, that was my soul. Tinake ni, sino ba yun? Si Adele. Yes, tinake ni Adele. Sige, go tayo. I want to have that. Monjaro is a GLP-1 medication. So it's technically a medication for people with diabetes, okay? I found out that it's the hormones that is already existing in our body but weakens as we age. So this one is just going to trigger that hormones which would send signal to your brain that you're full. Okay? So I said, kailangan ko niyan kasi grabe ang food noise ko eh. So kunyari, I saw a video of someone cooking, let's say, bilo-bilo. Nako, gusto ko lutuin yan or maghanap, bumili or something. So ganun ang mental state ko before. Even if I was working on my childhood wounds, the shadow working, no, meron pa rin, alam mo yun, like I said, it's not like an overnight complete healed na magaling ka na you have self-love and all that. No, there are still some remnants of the old past, of your old ways. Your self-loathing is still there. So I researched on it so much that I found out a lot of benefits of taking it and also the side effects. I've watched a lot of videos to learn more about it, and I've learned that you will experience, some people experience side effects like diarrhea, also fainting because your blood levels are really low. Sabi ko, how will I avoid the side effects? Kasi I'm the type of person who doesn't like taking medication for a headache. I just sleep it off. Ganun ako. So before I put something in my body, I need to understand it first. So it took me a while to get all the details, but I found out some vitamins that I can take to avoid or to at least lessen the impact of the side effects. So that's what I did. Now, this is the game where I am going to convince my husband to do it too. If I told you earlier that I am not the type of person who believes in medicine for a simple headache, my husband is hardcore. His belief when it comes to medical treatment needs to be studied fully, needs to be understood and explained to him well enough to be convinced. So I showed him the videos. I showed him all the things I was able to research on, the results. Initially, he wasn't. So it took a while for me to actually made him say, okay, because apart from all those side effects, apart from getting something into your body, it's actually the money. It's not cheap, okay? At that time, I think for the lowest dosage, just to introduce the medication to your body is at 2.5 milligrams, which I think costs us about 146. We need to buy the whole kit as well. So when we said, okay, let's do it, because we are desperate to lose weight. We have 2 children. We both hated ourselves. We can't look at ourselves in the mirror. It affected our marriage. It affected us being a parent. We decided we need help. Also, the time that we give to our kids is affected because we are unable to enjoy the time whenever we play with them because we can't fit in a tunnel, we can't fit in a slide, we can't bend down to tie their shoes, we can't lift them up because they're heavy and you're heavy. So it's just so many factors that we wanted to consider, and we're getting old and we thought let's do it for the kids. So our main driver is let's do it for the kids. Again, it's the wrong mindset because you need to do it for you. But at the time, we wanted to give our children the best childhood. We wanted to break the cycle. We wanted to start it with us. We jump off the ship. Okay? We took the vitamins first before we started injecting the Manjaro. And we also had to start planning out our food, what we will eat. So we had to avoid carbs at the time. So it's like going back to keto or intermittent diet. We received a full kit where there's the rubbish, where you throw all your used needles. There's also some alcohol swabs. We have the full kit to help us with the treatment. We're ready with protein shakes, also with protein snacks. So let me share to you what was my start weight before Manjaro. I think around 2021, my heaviest weight recorded was 13 stone and 8.6 pounds. So that was around 29th of April 2021. So that was a year after I gave birth to my first son. We didn't do anything then. We tried, we tried to go on a regimen diet. We tried to go back to intermittent, but because I was full-time breastfeeding, I struggled. So the cravings are there, and I was always hungry because, when you're breastfeeding, you're just losing so much calories, and you wanted to provide that nutrients that you're losing or you're giving away to your child. So when we started Manjaro, I'm just looking at my Fitness Pal because that's where everything was recorded. We measure ourselves and we do the injection. So that's what we do. And then normally on a Sunday, we don't eat a lot because we wanted to see more reduction of weight on the weighing day. The first time I stepped on the weighing scale, this was a week before taking Manjaro, because I wanted to know where I was at the time before going on the treatment. So that was exactly 9th of June 2024. So that was a Sunday, and I was 12 stones and 8.2 pounds. So borderline 13 stone. The week after that, this was done on the 16th of June 2024. I became 12 stone and 5.5 pounds. I'll show you the pictures I took on these. And then the week after, 23rd of June, I was 12 stone and 3.4 pounds. So you could literally see how fast it was. But at that time, it's not just the numbers showing progress, it's also the way we eat. The cravings are gone, the food noise is gone, and it's just the appetite is not there. So it even came to a point that we have to force ourselves to eat. So this is where we started just having shakes, but I didn't really like the taste of shake, but I kept up with it, I think, for 6 months. And then after that, I switched to Clear Whey. So Clear Whey is the juice, but protein. And I love that better because it's a raspberry flavor, strawberry flavor. I'm going to move on to the next month. So the following month, so now I was down to 11 stone and 12.7 pounds. Okay. That's fucking good, isn't it? Right. And then the following month, this was 4th of August, I was 11 stones and 4 pounds. It's really quick, very, very quick. And now I'm moving on to September. So this was taken on the 5th of September, 2024. I was down to 10 stone and 6.8 pounds. My body's starting to look a lot less wider. I don't really measure my muscles or my waistline. No, I don't. I go on with the weight. But around September, at that time, my mind is still saying that, you're still fat, because I was still wearing around XL. And then I think this was one of the mistakes that I have to mention to you, which I hope if you decide to do this, don't do it, because every time I lose weight, I think particularly every month, I buy different clothes. So from triple XL down to XL, I have those different sizes down to large and then medium, so on and so forth. 4th of October, 2024. So I was at the time down to 9 stone and 11.3 pounds. So at that time when I hit 9, I was wow, because I could see now, it's evident. I started wearing medium large. This is where people started asking me, how were you when it was Christmas and there's like huge holidays happening? How was your appetite? My appetite was still the same. We didn't eat a lot during Christmas, but I get to eat what I like. So I still cooked Filipino spaghetti. I believe I even made some graham cake and some macaroni salad. I still cooked the things I was craving for during Christmas. Like it just would remind me home. Really, I didn't overeat. Some of them we had to share to our mother-in-law, and then some of them just rot inside the fridge, unfortunately, because we just couldn't bring ourselves to finish them. I started learning how to cook little, because when I batch cook, I cook for the whole barangay. So I cook for 10 people because I got used to that. I came from a big family. So, even if it's just the 3 of my sisters, my mom and my dad and my yaya, we have our cousins who are all boys. So whenever there's a family gathering, it's not just like, 2 dishes on the table. No, it's like 12 dishes on the table. So that's how our family runs. 24th of December, 2024, I was already down to 8 stone and 8.1 pounds. So when I hit 8, I was like so close, because I think at the time, realistically thinking, I said, I think my goal weight was 8.7. That's it, right? When I hit 8.8, I was like, my God, I'm so close. I'm so close. So we couldn't exercise at the time because we don't have time. The childcare here in the UK is fucking expensive. So we only have our mother-in-law to look after the kids, and we can't just give her that full responsibilities. Monjaro is really the only one that would save us from ourselves. The change in the appetite is like you're not craving anymore, and suddenly the food noise in your head, they're quiet. Hello food noise, are you still there?
Nope.
Food noise gone. We kind of like, wow, Love it. Also, we have the MyFitnessPal to track everything, the food that we eat. We don't measure, okay? What we do is we put in the ingredients of the food that we eat, and then it calculates how many proteins, how many fats, sugars, and whatever. So we took extra steps to help us achieve what we want, because we spent for the medication anyway. We need to do more outside of that, okay? The exercise, I didn't do that. Martin did. Okay. So there was a question, what was my first thought after the first Mounjaro injection? I was scared of the needle, although I have plenty of tattoos. The needle was very tiny, very, very tiny. It's just a prick, okay? But you'd still feel it. But it's not going to be like debilitating. I injected on my lower belly. I even found out where is the best part of your body to inject it. So on your lower belly and on the back of your arm. But I did the lower belly first because I think there's too many fats there. I won't feel it. So let's do it there. No side effects. First, 2.5. So that's the first injection, lowest dosage. And then that would last for 4 weeks because you inject every week. And I even know when to inject them. We schedule them when. So because we inject them every Sunday evening. So whatever side effects we feel, we're asleep. I think we were taking probably 20 vitamins a day. On the screen, you could see the vitamins I take. So you can pause it. You can research on it first before you buy them. Or, you could ask your GP if you can take that. So these vitamins we took, I researched about it. My GP is also aware. Both our GPs are aware that we're taking it, because once we buy it privately from a pharmacy, they send that information to your local GP, so that's already in their record, so they are aware that you're taking it. So it's really safe here in the UK. So I think that's the peace of mind that my husband and I have, that any medication that's approved by UK is safe. Next question I receive also is, be honest, how many times did you Google, is Mounjaro safe, before actually taking it? Oh my God. I think I wouldn't say 20 times, even more, because I was too cautious. I just wanted to be sure if it's safe. It's like, there are also some results that I would encounter that it's not safe. It can cost this, it can cost that. The gravity of the safety of Mounjaro weighs more than not. As long as you're guided by your GP and you don't have a pre-existing condition that may actually be triggered when you're taking Mounjaro, then you're good to go. That's what my perception was, okay? And I didn't have any kidney problems, similarly with my husband. So he didn't have any pre-existing condition. Next question I also received, did you ever pretend you were full at a family party just to avoid explaining? No, I was very honest with Mounjaro, although there are a lot of stories from people while I was researching Mounjaro on that they're so embarrassed admitting it. It's because people just think that when you're asking help to lose weight, whether it's under the knife, whether it's a tablet, coffee, or an injection, you're immediately looked at as, wow, you're cheating. So you're not working hard for it. It's not really a win. And I'm like, okay, so if someone needs help on achieving something and they get that help, it's not an achievement enough because they get that help, and you think it's cheating because they just require that. And you think that people who exercise are the people who deserves the award because they work hard on it, and the people who's taken the medication or went under the knife are cheaters. They don't deserve any recognition. Fuck you if you say that, or if you have that perception. Another thing that I don't want to miss out talking about in this special episode is, I am not saying exercising or being fit is bad. Absolutely not. No, you do you. If going to the gym, running marathons, or meal prepping makes you feel alive, then that's your medicine. That is your power. And I fucking honor that. However you look at to taking care of yourself, meal prepping, gym, running, taking medication, drinking slimming coffee. You do you, girl. If it makes you feel that you have your power back, please do so. This is the honor I'm giving you. I'm giving you that space because I'm honoring that with you. I'm so proud of you, and I'm happy you're achieving your goals because you have time to do that. I didn't. My husband and I didn't have time to do that. We didn't have the help to look after our children while we go to the gym and prettify ourselves. We don't. So we need help outside the gym. So did I answer that question? So did I ever pretend you were full of family? I think because I was quite honest of what I was taking at the time, so they don't force. So this is not just a family gathering or whatever. It's also with friends. I can't eat more. If I do, I feel sick. Yeah, see, because the medication sends signals to your brain saying that you're full. So you had 2 bites and you're done. That's the effect of Manjaro to us. And then if we force us to eat, we literally feel sick. We just had to say sorry because we're taking this, or we're not really eating a lot. Although we didn't really go to a lot of gatherings because we are antisocial couples. Next question. Okay, we also received this question: which food do you miss the most now that you don't crave it as much? See, the misconception of taking Manjaro is you are not going to enjoy food. Wrong, okay? You still enjoy food. Tell you what, we went to Tunisia for a holiday and we were on 5 mg and switching to 7 milligrams at the time. And it was all inclusive. We get to eat whatever we want, but then again, we don't finish them. They serve amazing cakes, okay? Different types of cakes. And I love cake. Give me cake. So I can't say no to cake. So when we went on a holiday, they always serve cakes, lunch and dinner. I would always try something new, but because of Manjaro, I get to only try them with 1 spoon and I'm done. Just to satiate the cravings, but eat the whole thing or eat more than 2 spoonful, I can't do that. With the Manjaro sending signal to my brain, girl, full. So even if I say, no, but I'm really hungry, I love this taste, even if you really, really want it. So let's say my favorite food, I can't. Because again, the signal it's being sent to your body that you're full, you're bloated, that's it. So you just kind of like, okay, I'll stop there. We've tried many times to force ourselves to eat. And it didn't go well. Yeah. We either see ourselves in the toilet all the time or puke it, or like really feel ill, like you can't move. Like the same feeling of bloatedness. That's it. Okay. Now, another question is, which food could you still never give up? I still eat whatever I like I said. Yeah, it's just a matter of just tasting it, satiating your cravings. That's it. If I was craving for chocolate now, I'll have a bite and that's it. That's me done. So it means I have more for tomorrow, whatever. And I think this is the good thing about what people don't talk about with Manjaro is what we've noticed is it also positively affected our finances when it comes to food shopping. We don't overbuy stuff anymore because we hardly cook or we hardly eat. Means now we only spend money for children's food. Okay, we still make it to a point that we eat with the kids. So even if we're not in the mood, we still have to eat, So my staple food every single day, that's the next question I have. The staple food I eat for the past year now is boiled eggs. I eat boiled eggs every day. I absolutely love boiled eggs. Or sometimes if I want to play around with it, I eat bacon, maple bacon, or I eat omelette eggs. So if I have cravings for rice, let's say I cook adobo because Bjorn likes adobo, then I would eat a bit of rice or store the rice after cooking, store in the fridge so it breaks down the carbs and then reheat it and then eat a little bit and that's it. Just to satiate the cravings, but I don't overeat or I don't have a lot of food I missed because I still eat them with the Manjaro. Next question is, what's the weirdest compliment someone gave you after you lost weight? No, they're mostly positive comments again because you lost weight. They're usually positive comments. I think the best comment I receive is from myself. It's because whatever weight I am, I love myself. Something switched in me. It's more than just numbers now, because the mistakes I did while I was losing weight, buying clothes all the time, every single time I lose weight, I found myself with loads of clothes that won't fit anymore because 4 months ago they fit me well, the large ones and the mediums. But when I started becoming small, and then extra small, they won't fit anymore. As I said, this is not just a weight loss journey for me. I started to realize it's not just the numbers I'm really after. It's about accepting who I am. So I couldn't live without my lashes before. I couldn't live without wearing foundation because I hated my pores. It's so visible. Like, what the fuck, Tanya? But these are all natural, but I hated that before. So what I did to surpass that fear, to surpass that shame, or that, that self-loathing, I told myself, I'm going to have a revolutionary here. I am going to do the things that I would normally hate myself doing. So let's say go out without makeup, go out without lashes, or repeating fucking clothes. Can you fucking imagine? I don't repeat clothes. I don't know why. I don't know what's the logic behind of me not repeating clothes, because probably I was a people pleaser and I want people to say, wow, you're so fashionable, you don't repeat your clothes. But it's just silly, isn't it? And then I started to test myself and say, Tanya, we are in the process of self-love. Why not let's do something radical? Let's not put any lashes on your eyes and don't put on foundation to cover up your pores. So I did. I just decided to just remove the lashes and stare at myself in the mirror. I was repulsed because I couldn't. I hated how my eyes look so bare without the lashes. I hated how my pores are like screaming, I'm a pores. But again, it's a radical movement because I am trying to accept who I am. I'm trying to love all me, even the sides that I always think that were ugly, but not really. They're just me. So it was difficult in the beginning, but I made it. You might notice, yes, I have lashes. I still don't wear any foundation, and I don't care anymore when I take selfies and my pores are seen because it's part of me. I love it. Without my lashes on because my eyes look so kind. Seeing the version that I've not dared to look at before because I was so ashamed. I just didn't like that person. But when I started to face that person, the real me without all those fancy clothes and fancy lashes and makeups, oh my God, I'm slowly falling in love with myself. So I know it sounded really quite dramatic, but oh my God, I feel that love that I see myself every time I look at myself in the mirror without all those things I used to hide the real me. I don't know if you noticed that I also like to collect designer stuff. So you might have seen some photos I posted on Facebook. I was so proud, like, oh, look at her, so posh. I couldn't even bring myself down the person I was before because that's how I fucking love myself now. I knew that girl who's doing that before, the old me, the big girl, the girl who pleases the people, who hides behind makeups and designer stuff. I knew she was only doing that to survive, to keep herself feel safe. I can't say anything bad anymore to that girl. I started selling all my designer stuff. I have successfully sold half of them. There are still some that I have kept. So let's say like the massive ones that I can use for traveling, but the ones for like geeky stuff, like the small bags that my old self patience won't even fit. You know what I mean? So I sold them because it's just, I'm a mum now. Then I need a bigger bag to fit my children's toys and snacks. So I have given them up. And I started repeating clothes as well. This one was a bit difficult. I don't know if anyone can relate to this. I was such a people pleaser, or physical appearance is fucking so important for me that I plan what I'm going to wear tomorrow before bedtime, that I even stay up usually for 2 hours, just matchy stuff in my head, in my imagination. I'm going to look fabulous if I wear this. I'm going to wear this so this person will say I am amazing, or like I'm so cool. I usually do that before bedtime, which is fucking insane, isn't it? I was still in the radical stage where I am literally bearing myself raw to accept true me without all these stuff. Those are just the little voice that's telling me before that my value is with the clothes that I wear or the brands that I have. But I realized, no, it's not that. So when I started doing that, it felt hard in the beginning, and eventually it's so fucking liberating. It just felt like, oh my God, there's nothing wrong with the repeating clothes. I just wanted to clear this out, okay? That my weight was never my worth. And I only realized that because of this, the inner work or shadow working I've been doing for the past few years. This body has carried me through storms and sunshine. It has always been my home. How did I abandon that woman? Why was I not in the same team when she needed me the most? I have literally abandoned her because that was also the kind of love I received from the people I expected to love me when I was younger. So it's a huge realization for me. Why would I abandon myself now I'm older? I should have protected that little child inside me. So it was a huge drive for me to lean on focusing on loving myself and accepting the true me without all the fancy clothes, without all the expensive stuff to cover up all the wounds or the shame and the guilt I had. It's also like a realization that numbers on a scale cannot measure the love I now hold for myself. That's what I realized. So I stopped stepping on the scale every week. I would only do that just to keep myself in check, let's say probably once a month or maybe twice a month. But then again, if I put on weight, I don't berate myself and I say, it's okay, it's a few pounds, but I'm able to maintain my weight. It's because of the trust I have for myself, not just the discipline when it comes to eating habits. It's because I trust myself that I'm able to know when to stop, when is too much and when is not enough. So that's one of the main motivators for me to ensure that I maintain the weight where I am happy now. And one of the things I also had to start learning how to love is the stretch marks. Although it runs in my family to have stretch marks, I should have known that. But I kind of expected that I won't have it, because during pregnancy I was putting all of these creams and all of these body oils that my sisters gave me from Dubai. But it still gave me stretch marks. But when after giving birth, I could see them all stretch marks and the flabs, I was again repulsed, Because I think what people do not see outside is when you take off your clothes, and I'm thin now, when I take off my clothes, I could see the remnants of the C-section and the flabs, like the mummy flabs, they call it. So I still have that. Before, every single time I look at it, I'm like, yuck, look at that. The things I tell myself before. But because of the journey I am on, through self-love and accepting the true me, I again made a radical choice. Whenever I find I'm going to change clothes, take a bath, I would always look at myself in the mirror. And instead of actually looking away, and instead of actually saying, ugh, bleh, instead of doing that, I've actually said, what a powerful woman you are. You've literally raised 2 children in that tummy, which at one point the doctors told you can't. I mean, is that not magical enough for you? So that was a turning point for me to accept my stretch marks, those little battle scars I have, even the fats and the excess skin. Love it. I love it. There are still times that my brain with the little voice in your head would say, oh, you could do better. Maybe put something on that to lessen the stretch marks. No. And until at one point it stopped bothering me because I didn't give that little voice power anymore, because I hold the power. And I say I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. And it does not need to be validated or confirmed by anyone outside, whether it's from my husband, my friends, family, even my children. The flab that once hurt me is the same skin that held my children. How could that not be sacred? That was the turning point of me loving the mummy flabs. So you've noticed from my last post, if we are friends on Facebook, when we went on a holiday to Gran Canaria, I posted photos of me showing that. I think it didn't start there. We were still in the UK and it was summertime here. And we were in this quiet beach. And I said, can you take a photo of me? And then you could see literally the stretch marks. And I even, posed for that particular skin to show. When I did that, it's fucking liberating. I didn't care what people would say. And surprisingly, you know what? And the people who are in my life are like saying, my God, so proud of you. Oh, you look amazing. But I'm not saying I don't appreciate their comments, their beautiful comments, their positive comments. I do. I really do. And I'm very much grateful of. But now I'm like, girl, look at you, you cute little vessel. That's where your kids were cooked. That's where all the magic happens. So I love every bit of it. As another question, when did you start loving yourself? As years gone by from the time I do the inner work a lot, that's where I realized that all these material things I do to cover up all the ugly things that I thought are ugly about me were not really ugly. It's a cover up for all the pains I experienced when I was a child or I was a teenager. I worked on within to love myself, and that's how I started realizing my worth, that the validation I used to seek from other people, I can give it to me. So if every single time I comment about myself, like I'm pretty, I'm fashionable, I'm an icon, I'm like that, and people are like, why you say that? I said, who else will say it, girl? Of course, it's just me. So yeah, I give the compliments to me. Before, when I have got a new dress, it's so important for me to ask my husband, how do you think about the dress? It's so cute. Or if not my husband, my friends from work. It's so important for me to them compliment me because it's a fucking new dress. It's expensive or it's branded. Now, when I have got a new dress, or if I wear something that doesn't fit before and it fits now, I still ask my husband, like, how do you think about this? And he would say, oh, cute. I won't get offended even if he say, good, babe. Although he never said that, because my husband is very kind. He's full of complimentary. So he would always say, ooh, beautiful, snatch. I would always say, it doesn't matter what he says, it doesn't because I don't respect him, but because I now respect my own input and my own thoughts about myself than other people. So like I said, the validation I get from other people now, it has a lesser impact, because the impact I want now is the validation I give myself. So that's what I have learned in this spirituality. There's so many clothes that I can finally wear. One of them are the swimsuits that before my boobs were falling out, but now because I also lost my fucking boobs, now they fit. I don't like that side effect of Mounjaro. I lost my boobs because of losing weight. I didn't originally have good boom anyway, but I've got a very good hips. Now I have lost weight, but I still got the shape, girls. And again, it doesn't matter, right? I love me anyway. So does your kids or family notice your changes before you did? Well, no, I know that I lose weight before they did. It's because I keep track of my weight every week. I stopped doing that now. I've also stopped Mounjaro now, but at some point while I was still on Mounjaro, I stopped checking my weight. My goal was only 8 stone and 7. My original weight when I was a teenager was 8.5. So I am that same weight now, which was 119 pounds. I have stopped Mounjaro for 6 months now. I did maintenance. Okay. So the maintenance I have done, I did not do a cold turkey. My husband did. So let me tell you a story about that. When we both hit our goals, weight goal, My husband stopped first, okay, because he lost more weight and quickly before me. He went on cold turkey with Mounjaro, and which was the mistake he's done. So a month after, I think he put on a stone back. So he was like panicking, what do I do? What do I do? Because when you're off Mounjaro, it's hard to go back to the same milligram or dosage you were before. You would have to start from scratch. You would have to go through again the process of getting approved by a pharmacist before they release the medication. You need to send photos. You need to, provide a date with a photo, you stepping on a scale. But what I did differently is I went on maintenance. My highest dosage I went into was 12 mg, and then I went down to 10 mg, and that's when I started my maintenance. So I started my maintenance, but from injecting for every week, I went down to every 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and then lower again my dosage to 7.5, and then again to 5 weeks. Just staggered the medication. They do not advise that though. So I just decided it in my own term that I will do it, because what they wanted is every 10 days. And I don't want that, because I keep losing weight. I don't want to keep losing weight. The lowest weight I've ever had, this is during maintenance, what was 8 stone and 3. And I was really thin. I had to say, okay, now I need to go back to the 5 mg. So I stopped at 5 mg, and my injection was every 6 weeks. Again, they did not approve this. They would say it's the effect of the medication loses the moment you open it. Maybe they do that for business or for money, but I did it differently. Again, ask your GP, okay? Depends on how your body catches up with it. Mounjaro is already known by my body, so it's a lot easier for me to just gradually remove it, lower the dosage, and do it every few weeks only. So I stopped for 6 months ago with 5 mg, and I still haven't gained weight. I have cravings, okay? The food noise, it's not as loud as before. Again, because I've done some inner work along with the outer work. They go hand in hand. So it's a lot easier for me to maintain that mindset that I'm not really hungry, that I'm just craving it, so I'll just have a bite. And then again, the important part is the self-love. When it comes to self-love and beauty is not when the world agrees I'm perfect. It's when I look in the mirror and say, I am enough. I am enough because I am creative. I am fucking healthy. I'm not ill. I'm able to play with my children. I have a job. I'm able to do what I like, which is the podcast. That's one of the radical things I've done as well. Talking about radical moves, right? I hate seeing myself in videos. I used to hate it. I hate it when I hear my voice. I find it so fucking annoying. But no, I literally throw myself under the bus to do the things I used to hate because I always thought it's ugly. I always thought it's disgusting. I always thought I don't deserve it. I always thought I'm not valuable enough to do it. So I did it. You want to do podcast, girl? Okay, let's give you a platform. And I did it. So if you at one point, one of them who said, oh, it's her face again. I don't mind, girl. I don't mind, because this is what I love. And I love doing it, and I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for the people who believed in me, who believes in me. And also I'm doing it for the people who didn't have the voice yet, who's not on the stage I am now. And I'd like to help them. I'd like to be able to be used as an instrument to get you out of that dark cave. I stopped also dressing to hide and started dressing to celebrate. So I stopped dressing up for people to be complimented. I started dressing up for myself. There are still some times I would say, oh, I'm going to wear this suit because someone said that I look pretty. I do not judge myself anymore. Hardly. There are still times it's a niggling judgment criticizing me. I do not give that little voice a mic anymore. I own a fucking mic. So I give myself more grace. So when I started becoming mean again and judgmental, whether to me or to outside people, I always ask myself, what is this showing me that I need to heal or I need to learn? instead of actually attacking myself or attacking someone else. What is this person showing me that I need to heal? And why does it hurt? Where does it hurt, Tanya? Why is it triggering you? Which part of you that needs healing that this particular situation is teaching you, is actually asking you to look at? So that's how I look at things now when it comes to being triggered or reverting back to old self. I used to wait for approval. I am my own validation. So I hype myself up now. Well, my kids does as well. I think I have given myself the permission to grow without shame. That if I made a mistake, that if I accidentally slip back to old habits, I do not berate myself anymore. I give myself an allowance to say, it's okay, Tanya. You must really, really miss that food, or you must really, really feel so annoyed and triggered with that situation. So I give myself permission to make a mistake. I have also realized during this journey that healing is not linear, that some days I would fall back into old thoughts, that sometimes I find myself judging myself or judging others. But even then, I rise quicker than before. So I catch myself now, we don't live in that old story anymore, girl. We love ourselves. I'd fucking date myself. I'd fucking buy myself a drink. You know what I mean? That's how I like myself now. And that's dangerous. If someone loves themselves, if someone likes themselves enough to buy themselves a drink, those are dangerous people. Because no matter what you tell them, nothing can break them. So I am sure I'm not the only one who's progressing into that kind of self-love. And if you are out there, girl, proud of you, girl, or boy, I'd like to take a moment as well to honor the girl who hated her body, my old self, because she led me to the woman who loves it fiercely now. That woman who went through circus of emotions and depressions and mental illness and different roles of life and pressures and responsibilities. That woman fought fucking so hard to be where I am now. So how could I possibly hate that woman? How could I be mean again with her? Where in fact she needed love and acceptance from her own self. That's where I come in. The new her will do that for her now. So all the love that I did not give myself back then, I'm giving myself now. That's how strong I aim my love for myself to feel. That it would echo my past selves and hell, even my ancestors. Because I bet you it's not only the trauma they have passed on, it's the strength and it's the courage, it's the drive to break the cycle. And I can feel them clapping their hands, giving me a standing ovation. Thank you to my ancestors. I'd like to point out something here. We grew up in a society that the word fat becomes negative. Let's talk about the word fat, okay? Fat is not an insult. Fat is not a curse. We were made to believe it was. Fat is just fat. It's a description, not a definition of who we are, And we've been conditioned to fear the word fat. We've been conditioned to associate that word to ugly, to worthless, to not deserving love. Like it erases our beauty and value. But fat doesn't erase love. It doesn't erase talent. It doesn't erase worth. So being fat is not negative. I'd like you to sit with that statement. Being fat is not negative. You know what's the negativity in that? Is how society has painted it. How society put out all this that if you don't look like this, you're not beautiful. It's not the fat that is the problem here. It's the society's dictation, beauty standards that keep raising that not a fucking single woman can reach. That even if you are a supermodel, you probably also struggled with self-acceptance, because every single time you gain an inch, you are called ugly. You just lose the position where you're in now. So fat can be a body type. Fat can be an era of your life, but fat is never the sum total of your identity. Sit with that, please. And for all the people who told you that when you gain a little or you gained weight and they tell you immediately, you've let yourself go, fuck you. Okay, fuck you. If you told someone at one point in your life, fuck you. Because being fat doesn't mean you let yourself go. You don't have the right to call anyone that. Or you don't have the right to tell anyone that they let themselves go just because they gained weight. For me, it wasn't about chasing a six-pack or looking so cute in an outfit. It was about chasing peace in my body, however it looked. I embraced all the things that I think that were negative. Stretch marks, big nose, big teeth, pores, grey hair. Oh, that's one of the things as well. I fought so hard to hide that. Colored my hair black all the time. No, a radical move. I faced all those fears by doing the opposite of what I was told not to do, or not to be, or not to have. We all have different definitions of health, different rhythms of joy. My journey just happened to include injections, vitamins, and a lot of inner work. Yours may look different, and that's okay, my love. So I'm not condoning if those girls or boys who likes to go to the gym, who feels more inspired to go running, blasting music, dancing, please do it. If it gives you power and control and peace, do it. You do you. No one has the right to call your journey a cheat or less valuable just because what you're doing is completely different from the normal thing of losing weight. See, that's the most common thing I always hear, that when people find out I'm taking an injection, it's like I always get an eyebrows raised because they're like, it's cheating. Oh, honey, you can say whatever you like. Cheating or shortcuts, I don't mind. Look at it this way, okay? This is not just about those people giving negative comments about what your journey looks like. Or this also goes with people judging you, criticizing you, or you criticizing people. Always remember this. People who judges usually just reveals the hatred they have for themselves, and they project that to you or to other people to make themselves feel better. So when people judge you for whatever you do, don't react. It's just them revealing who they are or how much they hate themselves. So you feel more compassionate of that person instead of actually fighting back or trying to prove them wrong. Compassion. It makes you less judgmental when you understand that when people started being mean to you, they're just projecting their own inner world. So you get to understand them more, that how much they are really sad or lonely being in themselves, that they had to judge, criticize, or devalue someone to feel better about themselves. Mic drop that. We're going to wrap up this soon, okay? So I've just got 2 questions to answer now. What would the teenage Tanya say if she saw you now? See, what I have not told you earlier is the woman I was before, the heavy girl that I was before, as me now, I look back to her with such pride in my heart. That girl, that heavy girl, fought so fucking hard to be where I am now. She anchored to whatever she can anchor herself so she won't spiral down and just give up entirely. You know, yes, she coped in the way she knows she can cope with, and the only thing she learned from childhood. And I don't blame all the things she has to do to survive life, motherhood, teenage life, relationships, all that. So if she has done stupid, silly things in the past to survive, I get that, girl. And I'm so proud of who we are now. And thank you for not giving up. Thank you for fighting your way through to bring me where I am now. That's what I'm going to tell her. Because that big girl, she wasn't only carrying a weight, she was carrying the whole world. Insecurities, self-loathing, the pressure of motherhood, the pressure of being a breadwinner. She was carrying all that. You only see the physical weight, but the weight that she was carrying in her heart was heavier than the weight she was. So that's, I love you, and I'm so fucking proud of you. And you're safe now, okay? Because I got you, girl. I got you. And the last question is, what would my higher self say? My higher self. say would definitely, that's my girl. That's my girl. I think that's what she would say. I feel like I am my higher self now because I'm beyond my fears now. I'm beyond self-loathing. You can never bring me down now with a simple comment. I've said all the bad things I can say to myself even before you say them. So whatever you say now, that part of me is already healed, or still healing actually. But we do not live in that story anymore. So that does not hold any weight. I never thought that people would be so interested to know about my weight loss journey. Like I said, anyone just ask me a question about it, I'm quite upfront about it anyways. I'm glad I did because like I said, this is not a story about just the Mounjaro. The real hero here is not Mounjaro. The hard work was actually done by me. So well done me. Well done for not giving up on yourself. Well done for being so curious and for finding ways to identify how to help yourself. I'd like to leave you with a quote again. You have been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. And this is by Louise Hay. So that's my journey, everybody. And again, however you look like, what shape or what size you are, if you have that inner peace within you that you are enough, darling, you are more than enough, whatever size you are. I love you and I'm proud of you. What stage of life you are in now. You'll get there eventually. I know you will. Proud of you, girl. For someone struggling right now with weight or body dysmorphia, what I'd like to say to you is, I know it is scary if sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. But look closely. Look closely. You'll see the little you there, wanting love, wanting attention, reaching out for your love. Hug her, accept her, tell her she's safe, tell her you are the bigger person now to protect her. Look closely. You'll find you. Thank you very much for all the questions you've sent in to complete this episode. Thank you for holding space with me today. Sharing my journey hasn't been easy, but it felt necessary. Not just to tell you about the weight loss or a medication, but to remind you that no matter where you are in your story, in your body, your scars, your so-called imperfections, they are part of your power. For so long, I let society, comparison, and even my own inner voice define who I was. But I stand here today, loving the body that carried two beautiful children, the face that tells my story, and the soul that no longer hates. Self-love isn't a destination, it's a practice. And if my story helps even one of you choose kindness toward yourself, to put down the shame, and to embrace the mirror with love, then it's been worth it. So until next time, remember this, your worth is not in the weight you carry, but in the love you give to others, and most importantly, to yourself. Thank you. This is your host, Tanya. Thank you very much, and I shall see you with the next episode. Ciao.